home on every rural road. Hyundai Country Calendar.
They're Hawke's Bay apple growers who've won an international award, all in a day's work.
I feel like I actually don't work because I enjoy what I do so much.
And who've gambled on a premium apple that's difficult to grow.
It's no different for racehorses, it's always like to back winners. And it's addictive. What we do in our game, you know, you've got to be passionate and motivated, otherwise you just get left behind. Morning boys, how are you? Another glorious day. Okay, look, be careful with the light today please. Very important we're watching the light with the colour.
Harvest time on the Erickson family orchard in Hawke's Bay.
Please stay away from any of this lighter stuff. We're just going for that nice dark crimson, okay?
The weather forecast is threatening, and Mark Erickson's early morning talk to his team of Samoan pickers is more urgent than usual.
Boys, you did a great job yesterday, well done. Really proud of your picking and your inputs. Thank you. It means a lot to us. As you know, we put a lot of work into this crop. Careful with your ladders, please, as usual. But minimise that drop-in of good fruit. Every apple's a winning apple, remember that, boys? A lot of urgency in the next day or two because we've got weather coming in, strong winds and rain, and the crop's right at the knife's edge at the moment because of the weight, but also the maturation's coming on, so the fruit becomes more sensitive to dropping, and also with rainfall we get handling issues after rain, so we want to get it off before the rain. There's tens of thousands of dollars at stake here.
The pickers have an incentive to work quickly and well. They earn good bonuses. Most of them are experienced, returning here from the Pacific under a government seasonal work scheme.
In the last 3 or 4 years, we've really focused on having the same core group back. We have a lot of Samoans and also Indians because they know what we expect of them as far as quality goes, but also they are very skilled. That's good colour, boys. No fruit dropping, well done. We look after them as every way we can, not only for the remuneration aspect, but also just for the food and the culture. Every couple of weeks we shout them KFC and they get a real buzz out of that. It's more so the valuing your teammates. Nice colour in your bin though, I'm very, very pleased with that. They're not workers to me, they're teammates, and I'm only as good as the people around me, so it's no different from a captain of a sporting team. You've got to be working together as a team and leading from the front. Thanks guys.
Mark's vice-captain, overseeing the picking of all fruit in the orchard, is Gurbachan Singh, the supervisor who came here 27 years ago as a tourist.
The colour is really good, boys. Watch out from dropping. To be honest, I was oversteer first 4 or 5 years. So, but I was a hard worker, always bosses helped me. So everybody, just about everybody helped me, you know. So after that I applied for residency, then I got it. I am very happy actually to stay in New Zealand. So nice people, nice weather, what else you want? I got more friends here than India now, so that's why I like here.
And there's another veteran that Mark can call on, his father Peter Erickson, who converted the family dairy farm into an orchard in the 1980s.
I get behind Mark and help him, and if I'm needed, I'll get in and drive a tractor or a sprayer or hydro ladder or whatever. I'm lucky I've got good health. I've been in this game here now for 30 years, so we'll just keep going. The crew's good, you know, we all get along well together, and sometimes at the end of the day we'll have a malt sandwich or a beer. Fresh air, good Hawke's Bay sun. What else could you wish for?
Mark's hoping the weather will hold. Their prize crop is at stake, the Pacific Queen. This block of trees was planted 8 years ago as the Ericksons' focus shifted from Europe to Asia.
We started to hear a lot about carbon footprinting and the English really sort of saying, you know, what our cost of production is and our carbon footprint as such. especially with shipping. So we decided to track sort of closer to home, and hence we planted varieties that lend itself towards the Asian cultures and taste buds and the demographics. We could see them changing, especially India and China becoming more affluent. So we wanted to grow an apple that was going to suit their desires, and Pacific Queen really has done that for us. It's producing great returns for us now and great yields. They like the sweetness, they love the colour and the size. It's a big apple. I enjoy a challenge. I get a real kick out of growing the harder apples rather than the easy ones, because they're the ones that are going to potentially make us good money, because the yields are harder to come up. And that's why I've gone down the track of Pacific Queen. It's not for the faint-hearted. You've got to have real resilience and steel nerves. Fortunately, I've got a really supportive wife and great family to help me through those times.
Average is looking good.
Average is looking great. 90.
Leah Erickson
81.
helps with the tests that show how ripe the crop is.
9.5. Good pressures, love.
Really good.
So what we do is we pressure test. What we're trying to do there is to ascertain the crunch, because as we know, every good apple you need to have a good crunch. And the starch pattern index is a really important one. If we have any zeros within the test, it's obviously not good enough for export. It's too immature. We spray on the iodine and then it turns total black or a little bit of light yellow in the core. That's termed a zero.
Okay, what do we got?
Okay, we've got a 5, 6, predominantly black, and that's a lot of starch in there, immature, and potential risk for storage, and also lack of eating quality. Doesn't have the sugars. And we measured sugars using a refractometer, and that's telling us the percentage of sugars or soluble solids in the test. And so we take an average. 15.2. So that's a really good test for a first pick.
Good exercise, Mum? Oh, pretty good.
Leah not only helps in the orchard, she does the company books, as well as raising their 3 boys, Jack, James and Archer.
I love it. I love the weather here. I love the flexibility. I love that our work is our home. I love that Mark and I get to work together. And yeah, it's a family business. It's good. Yeah, peel the black stuff off so they're nice and dry. He's tough because he likes things right. There's a few clashes every now and then, but we sort it out.
So far, the forecast bad weather is holding off, easing the pressure as the Ericksons load out their apples.
Cheers, bro. Only as good as the people around me, though. Exactly. The hardest time of the year is probably the harvest, because you've gone through that whole cycle. You put all that money into it, and all the stresses have come with it, and it's all coming to fruition. And the culmination's obviously getting the staff to pick the right quality and put it into the bin and then into the box. We want to get them off, obviously, and get the fruit into the market and get the money in the bank.
This is a business governed by weather, especially in springtime. Early October, a glorious spring morning on the Erickson family orchard in Hawke's Bay.
You can see by the dew on the blossoms this morning that it was pretty cold and obviously got close to a frost.
It's a worrying time for Mark Erickson.
Been up since 11 o'clock just watching the temperature. You're always like a cat on hot bricks at this time of the year with pollination and frost and anticipation. So we're out there fighting with water or choppers. He said the bees are working really well over the last few days, eh? Still working well, even though it's a little bit cooler.
The work in the orchard done now will have a significant bearing on the crop.
Today he's just been demonstrating how important the hygiene is for the tools, because European canker is such a major problematic area in this industry, so hygiene's a paramount.
Supervisor Gurbachan Singh also instructs on the training of the apple trees.
If you break anything while you're twisting, clean it. And put paint on, please.
In terms of quality and also pest and disease management, it keeps the air and the light moving and into the right places.
The branch should be from the growth point.
And that'll set us up for many years to come with the right tree structure. Without bees and pollination, the global food chain effectively ceases. So we need to have good pollination and good bees within the industry and within any food production. We're really lucky that we've got a really top beekeeper, and he's given us really strong hives, and that's been great for us to get really good pollination and fruit set, and hence top yields and quality.
The apple trees flower first, then 3 weeks later, the kiwi fruit.
There you go, Richard, all good?
G'day mate, yeah good.
How much you want to feed them today?
A couple of litres each hive, so you're keen to give us a hand?
Absolutely. A few showers been coming through today.
Beekeeper Richard Borden has an extra task with the kiwi fruit. He has to feed the bees.
For kiwi fruit pollination, we need to feed them sugar syrup. So this is a light sugar syrup, 50-50 sugar and water, and we want to make sure that they have a little bit of sugar every day. So this is the carbohydrate source for the bees, and what that does is it forces them to go and collect the pollen from the kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit don't have a lot of nectar on offer, but they do have pollen. So we prepare the hives by getting lots of young brood going. Once we've got that young brood there, they need to feed them. This gives them the carbohydrate, and that forces them to go and get the pollen for the protein.
Leaf colour's looking really nice green, dark green. All the fertilisation's working well. Haven't had too much rainfall this year, so we haven't had a lot of leaching. So yeah, the flowers look like it's setting up nicely. Should be a good crop in here.
Four months later, by summer's end, the fruit is nearly ripe.
It's a very heavy crop this year. It's in excess of 18,000 trays a hectare. We're aiming for 18 for our younger grass, up to sort of 20,000 trays a hectare, and we're also looking for size. Hawke's Bay is not an easy place to grow kiwi fruit because we have such heavy soils, but also frost in the spring and heavy frost in the winter. So PSA loves that sort of environment, wet, cold springs and autumns. Been very lucky to date. We've maintained a very meticulous and systematic approach to the whole disease. PSA is a bacterium, and we use copper to spray against it, and so we look for key timings with weather events to get in front of it, as using our copper as a control, and also using very much naturally derived products. We're going down the organic track where we minimal or nil residues. Like today we're using copper, it's another organic product, and a lot of the products we use are very soft. Nowadays we don't use any organophosphates, and the consumers can be rest assured that they're eating is of highest quality and good eating. We're very focused on not using too much copper because we don't want to ruin the soil structures and the microbes. Soil takes a long time to evolve and then get into a great position where you want it to be for the growing plants, and so you can very quickly unravel all that good hard work. Getting warm today.
The Ericssons' commitment to growing apples and kiwi fruit has brought rewards.
Back in the old days when we were coming to grips with apple production, we'd be in the range for maybe 2,000, 2,500 cartons or boxes per hectare. Nowadays, we're really looking for that sort of minimum of 3,500, 4,000, even up to 5,500, 6,000 with some varieties. And the way we're doing that is by the way we're pruning the trees, different root stocks.
And all that effort has earned them the ultimate accolade. 10 years ago, they were named International Fruit Growers of the Year.
We were over the moon. And that was based and judged on the criteria of production and environmental aspects, financials, and also just the change of what we do. It was a very proud moment, and there's plenty of other horticulturists and orchardists in the Hawke's Bay and Elson and further afield who would have been just as worthy recipients. Sometimes I stick my neck out and put my head on the block as such, and I don't mind doing that because I'm passionate about what I do. So yeah, we were lucky, and we came away with it.
The Ericssons are now chasing another prize, the market in China. The apples from the Ericsson family orchard are starting their journey to market. The packhouse, Mount Erin near Havelock North, is owned and operated by Mark Erickson and other Hawke's Bay orchardists.
Pack house we brought together as a group, 6 of us like-minded growers and 4 or 5 other dry shareholders. We didn't want to be told when we had to pack our fruit or how we packed our fruit. We wanted to be in control of it. And that's taken it right from the orchard gate to the dinner plate, effectively. That's how we needed it to be. So trying to cut out as many middlemen as possible and being in control of our fruit. We were always told that there's no money in pack houses, but this place is doing very well. But it's coming down to the fact that we've supplied good quality fruit at the right time, and also the management takes over and runs a very tight ship.
There's another key factor in the Erickson success in China. Mark's Chinese agent, SJ Chung. Mark and SJ met 17 years ago in China. SJ now lives here, and he's been Mark's agent for the last 3 years.
Quality, yeah. Happy?
Of course.
Good quality?
Yeah.
Colour? He's a direct importer into China, so he gives us a whole new platform and opportunities and avenues in China, going direct to the markets. We've got some really exciting prospect. We're looking at going direct into some of the markets, also even using social media to capture new audiences and new consumers.
Right.
You've got to teach your friends in China to buy the smaller ones for the kids.
SJ's made the trip from Hamilton to taste and inspect Mark's prized Pacific Queen apples. He's travelled with his niece and interpreter, Lisa Chung.
Mark 的果子种的就是最好的。Yeah, he said you grown the best fruit. 猕猴桃都是种的质量最好。Yeah, cause SJ said he know you for a long time, and when you grow apples and other fruit, you always grown the best.
Oh, thank you very much.
尝一个吧。哦呦，这汁儿都流出来了。It's very juicy.
Crunchy, juicy, sweet.
非常甜。
Very sweet.
So we picked these 2 days ago. We left them overnight in the shade house. Cool stored them yesterday, and then we'll be picking them on Tuesday. So ready for the markets as soon as possible after.
The size of the pack house aids the speed of shipment to markets in Asia.
We do it very quick because we're a small shed and we've got good infrastructure. We can turn the fruit around in a matter of days. So we're very nimble, and that's one of our very key competitive advantages over our bigger fellow pack houses, is that we can move very quickly.
Most of the workers in the pack house are young travellers. They work here under a government scheme that allows them to do seasonal work.
We've got a lot of Asians in the pack house here. They're doing a lot of the grading, so having people who can actually read the fruit and see the fruit well is very important to get a consistent product into the box. We're packing like 250 bins a day, and then we load in that net. Effectively, we'll do a couple of containers depending on the size profile, but and that's the sort of stuff we just keep shifting the fruit out of the cool stores into the containers, onto the port, into the market. Come into a good area here, Jack, I think.
The land not only provides a living for the Erickson family, they can also enjoy time here together.
We're very lucky in Waimar. We've got 3 streams that run through the place, and an abundance of fish, trout, also eels, as well as freshwater kuta, crayfish. We're very lucky that we've got such clear, pristine water. In actual fact, Waimar in Māori means clear white water, so hence the name coming from all the streams that run through it. So as a kid growing up here, I was fortunate that I got to catch hundreds of trout, rainbow trout, 4 or 5 pound.
Like the 3 generations of the family before them, young Jack Erickson and his brothers often go fishing.
See anything, James? Up here? Oh, you got it. No.
They haven't got onto the trout as yet, that'll come, but they're frequently catching freshwater crayfish and also eels. Just so fantastic to have that there, so the kids can actually have some leisure time and we can be a part of it and see their catches. I mean, we even boil up the freshwater crayfish. They're beautiful to eat.
The Ericksons have lived on their block of land near Taradale for nearly 100 years. Their family cars and farm equipment stretch back to the 19th century. 79-year-old Peter Eriksson is grateful for their good fortune.
Well, I can only thank my mum and dad and my grandfather and grandmother for picking this land. We've done a lot of improvements on it. Tile draining and all the kiwi fruit and apples are all irrigated. We just have to press a button and away it goes. It's all river alluvial soil, so it's very, very good soil and it grows very good whatever. You know, we prove that with the production we get from the crops, and Mark, he polishes all that up and gets the very maximum out of it.
Whether there'll be a fifth generation of Erikssons at Waimar is not certain.
Obviously, it's the children's choice what they would like to do as they get older. We don't want to pressurise them to do anything they don't want to do, and they might have completely different aims and aspirations to what Mark and I have. But yeah, if one of them could be involved, that would be great.
The most important thing for Leah and myself is to give the boys the best education possible. And obviously that's what we want the kids to do, is to follow their dreams. And if they want to come back to the orchard, then that's great too.
We're always talking about aims and goals. I think that's what makes us quite good as a team. You know, we have smaller goals and then larger goals. We have goals about what we want to plant in the years, like maybe do we want to diversify a bit more. So yeah, we're always talking about that kind of thing.
You know, I get out of bed every morning with a spring in my step and I smell the coffee and smell the roses, as they say. In some respects, I feel like I actually don't work because I enjoy what I do so much that it's actually just a passion I have. It's like my hobby also, you know, so I get a real kick out of growing the quality fruit we do.